Let's talk about the framework associated with creating a healthy meal. This is something that I'm passionate about and has been so helpful for people who might not know how to compose a healthy meal that aligns with their goals. Oftentimes, people mean well, they want to get lean and strong and healthy and have energy and all that, but they just don't really know where to start, what they should be eating, what they shouldn't be eating. There's a lot of what I call fitness overwhelm associated with that, a lot of stress. So we remove that. We make things very, very simple, very attainable, all right? And then if you want to be fancier as you go, as you learn and you get the hang of this, if you want to make fancy recipes, that's wonderful, go for it. But in the meantime, start by keeping it simple and understanding a framework for your meals. So let's jump in here. So what that looks like, the number one priority is anchoring each meal with a high quality protein source, all right? So real simple, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast could be scrambled eggs. All right, that's kind of like American breakfast. We modify that a little bit, I'll get into that in just a second. But let's say you have scrambled eggs for breakfast. Let's say your lunch could be a chicken breast. Your dinner could be some sliced steak or salmon, whatever you want. Animal protein is typically going to be the best option because it's already going to be a complete protein, meaning it automatically has all of the essential amino acids that our body needs for health that we don't produce ourselves, so we have to ingest them. Okay, if a person doesn't do animal products and they want to do nuts and seeds and legumes such as beans and lentils, that would be great as well. All right, so a high quality protein source is going to be the anchor of each meal, and that's where you start, that's where you're going to build everything else from. Number two, we are going to have ridiculous amounts of leafy green vegetables, organic when possible. So that's your spring mix, your spinach, your kale, chard, things like that. I usually recommend that people go to the store, get the big organic tubs of spinach and spring mix that are 16 ounces each. It's like $4.99 each, and it'll last you a while. And just take a big handful of one, big handful of the other, throw it in a bowl. You've got your olive oil, apple cider vinegar, or some other healthy dressing that you like. The greens are so important for making it easy to get lean and stay lean. All right, I can go into lots of anecdotes of that in the past, but I've had people that didn't even change the rest of their diet. They just added lots of leafy green vegetables in that got visibly leaner and just felt better. It's a super powerful tool. Okay, so we have our high quality protein source as the anchor. Typically there's going to be some fat associated with that as well. So you have protein and fat typically in your protein source. If you do grass-fed beef, you're going to have a high quality protein and you're going to have some healthy fat as well. Then most people don't know this, but vegetables are carbohydrates. Most people, when they think about carbs, they think of like pasta and bread and stuff like that. But we actually have carbs in the diet because we eat a lot of vegetables, okay? So we have protein, fat, and carbs in our diet, keeping things very balanced. If your goal is to get lean, that's pretty much it, man. That's all you have to do is your protein, which also encompasses your fat, and your vegetable carbohydrates in the form of leafy green vegetables, ridiculous amounts of those, okay? If you do that in every single meal, and the vegetables are even in breakfast, all right? This is something that I always encourage people to kind of get outside the box of your past thinking of when you should eat certain things. All right, everyone has like maybe a bagel for breakfast and they can't get outside of that, or they always have dessert after dinner. All right, get outside the box of that old way of thinking and just try, because you will love the way that you feel. Okay, so we have protein, fat, and carbs. That's your starting formula or your framework, as I say, for getting lean. Then if you're trying to get bigger, if you're trying to gain weight, we stick with that same formula and we just add a high quality complex carbohydrate, such as potatoes, sweet potatoes, white rice, quinoa, black beans, lentils, something along those lines. So then you have protein, fat, you still have your vegetable carbs, and you have a whole nother source of calories coming from all those other carbohydrates. And that usually makes up the difference if a person's trying to get bigger. Now, I do want to add one addendum here regarding this framework, because people often ask, is that all I can have, or can I have other things if I feel good on those other things? Yes, you can add other foods into this, your white rice, your legumes, sweet potatoes, nuts, seeds, all that stuff, if you tolerate it well, meaning you don't have any allergies to it, it doesn't cause indigestion, it doesn't cause bloating, all that stuff. The reason I start people with something so simple, when people tell me they want to get lean, this is just the easiest way to do it, the most efficient way to do it, and it keeps it very, very simple. So that's always our starting point. And then if you want to add other things in, you can do that as long as it fits into that overall macronutrient breakdown for the day. All right, so your meat, your vegetables, then you can add other stuff in as long as it fits into your macro goal for the day. Try to make that really clear. So don't feel like that's all you're gonna be able to have forever. And also, you won't have to do this forever. Again, this is just our starting point to make it as efficient for you as possible and to remove anxiety, to remove stress, to remove overwhelm. And then you can always branch out from there. You'll also see all of my meal examples, and it kind of goes more in depth into how all this would look, broken down in breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and also eating out and condiments and drinks and some of those other things that people often have some confusion about. But I want to leave you with that framework. Keep it simple. You can substitute things as you like. Substitute your protein for other proteins. Substitute your fat source for other fat. And you can make it your own, but just keep it simple, remove all that stress, and keep moving towards your goals.